Hello and welcome back. For those of you who watch my channel regularly, you'll actually recognise this painting. This painting was a Dutchpour that I did with my colour shift This Little Piggies, which were Crescendo and Flaminglo, and it was the first time I used them, and I did a Dutchpour inspired piece. I have been looking at it for a while and I've decided that I'm going to embellish over it. I did say this in the original video, and I've left it for a while and had it sitting, and I keep looking at it, and I finally came up with an idea. Now, I've never done this before. I've watched plenty of YouTube artists do it. One of those artists is actually Olga Solby, and she does this really well. So this is my first attempt, and I'm using this painting basically as an experiment to try different things and see how it goes. As you can see, I'm taping down where I'm going to put my line. The first one I did off camera, and then the second line here I'm doing on camera. Now this part here, I struggled a bit lining it up. I felt like it was out of line. So you'll see in a minute that I put the tape in and I put some pencil marks, and that helped me line up the tape a little bit better. Now I have my gold paint. Now I had a bit of a brain fart here. Surprise, surprise. I used my gold paint that had been thinned down for pouring, and it didn't really give me a thick coat. You'll actually notice I paint it down, I try, and then I realize what I've done, and I get a baby wipe while it's wet and I wipe it off. The easiest way to get rid of things like that, if you make a mistake and you're on top of another painting embellishing, is to wipe it off while it's wet. It would have worked if I'd done it slowly with multiple layers, but I definitely got a better result using tube paint. Now I'm bringing out the Liquitex Basics Gold. The tube paint, I love this colour. It's a beautiful, rich, deep colour, and I'm using it directly from the tube. And you'll notice it actually gives a much richer and deeper coat of paint, and definitely looks a lot better than using a thin down form. Up in this section is where I wiped, and it was still a little bit damp. My paintbrush was still a little bit damp, so you'll notice that it's thin here, but I soon go down to the other section and I become more confident when I'm putting the paint down, and it definitely is a learning curve, and the second part I do turns out much better, and you'll see that in a minute. Here we go, zooming in. I learnt to trust the tape. When I first started, I didn't really trust that the tape wasn't going to bleed, but as I went on, I learnt to trust the process, and I got a lot more confident doing this. Alrighty, sit back and relax and enjoy watching this process with some music, and I'll come back when I'm pulling the tape up. Okay, it's tape pulling time. Now I must admit I was actually holding my breath here. I really didn't know if this tape would work. I have to learn to trust my equipment, and as you can see, it bled through there, but you can also notice as I pull the tape up that I made a bit of a boo-boo and covered in the center part in too many places, and I fix that as I go along. I wipe this down here, as I said, with a nappy wipe while it's wet, but you'll notice coming in later that I actually have to paint this section again because I pulled the tape, put the tape down and left basically patches in the middle, which you'll see in a minute. There it is. See, I should have cut the tape and not done it straight across, but for a first attempt I'm pretty darn happy with my lines. There is a slight little bit of bleeding, but I'm happy, and it's now sitting and drying, and you'll see how I fix that in a minute. I do show you how I fix it. Oopsie, I forgot to put my canvas in frame and check. So you guys missed me doing the last part of this gold line. But there you are, all finished, and I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. I'd love to know what you guys think, and have any of you tried this? Give me a comment down below. I decided to keep on playing and pulled out my modelling gel or impasto gel and thought I would have a go at just putting a little bit of a 3D element into this piece. The beauty about using impasto gel is that it dries clear when it dries, so you can actually see through it. Here it is dry and it's a little bit bumpy to touch. You can see through it. And now I'm going to put my piggies over the top. And here are the dry results of the piggies on top of the impasto gel. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out, and in a minute this will be zooming in from a distance and you'll see how it actually gives it quite a nice little 3D effect. This style gives me heaps of ideas on other things I can do, especially in the embellishing on top of other pieces of art. So it always pays to have a play with other new products on top of your fluid art. Never just settle for something that you're not 100% happy with. Thanks for joining me on this video, and if you liked what you saw, click the like and subscribe button, share the video, and I'll see you soon.